Rain hammered the pavement outside Chicago's O'Hare Airport. Neela Patel's heart pounded against her ribs. She clutched a single suitcase. Thunder rolled like distant gunfire. Her silk gown stuck to trembling arms. Fluorescent lights flickered overhead. A cloaked figure trailed her through the terminal. Her breath fogged in the cold air. Footsteps echoed on tile floors. She glanced at her phone. No signal. Taxis honked, oblivious. Her pulse throbbed in her ears. She edged toward a crowded exit. Her arranged marriage loomed in New Jersey. She'd sworn never to be property. A low voice whispered in her ear. She spun, empty corridor. Lightning rattled the glass doors. She sprinted into the storm. Wind lashed her face. Rain stung like needles. She slipped. Hands grabbed her arm. A stranger yanked her upright. Dark eyes met hers, steady. "Come with me," he said. Sirens wailed in the distance. She hesitated. Behind her, the cloaked figure emerged. Neela swallowed fear. His grip tightened. She flinched. Then a police cruiser screeched to a halt. The stranger's gaze never wavered. He nodded once. She followed without a second thought. Her future shattered. Again. Neela Patel lived in a modest Chicago townhouse. She worked as an art restorer at a local museum. Soft morning light filtered through her kitchen window. Her small dog, Luna, greeted her with eager yips. She brewed dark roast coffee on her countertop. White subway tiles gleamed behind her. Neela scrolled through emails in her cramped office. Her desk overflowed with paintbrushes and invoices. She paused over a photograph of her late mother. A single tear slid down her cheek. I can't let tradition trap me again, she thought. Her brother Amon called every Sunday without fail. He reminded her of her family's expectations. Their parents had arranged her marriage that morning. She hung up before he named her fiancé. Her best friend Zoe knocked twice on her door. Zoe swept in, bright and bold. "Coffee," she offered, voice warm. Neela managed a tired smile. They laughed over spilled cream. Zoe teased Neela about dating apps. Neela shook her head. "My heart belongs to my work," she joked. They walked to the museum together. Cool autumn air brushed their cheeks. The city skyline loomed behind them. Neela unlocked the museum's oak doors. Ancient artifacts whispered secrets inside. She polished a cracked Grecian vase. Her delicate touch breathed life into old stone. Visiting students watched in awe. She guided them with gentle patience. After opening hours, she locked the doors. She breathed in the hushed marble halls. At home, she cooked spicy curry for dinner. Steam rose from the simmering pot. She set the table for one. Her phone buzzed. A message from her father. He wrote, "Your wedding is in 2 days." Her chest tightened at his words. She traced the message with a shaking finger. Luna whimpered at her side. Neela clenched her jaw. She refused to answer. An unresolved tension pulsed in her veins. What if I lose myself completely? She wondered. That night, she dreamt of white, lace veils. Footsteps thundered down endless hallways. A distant voice called her name. She woke with a gasp. Rain pattered against her window again. She pressed her forehead to the cold glass. I can't surrender my life so easily. Lightning flashed over the city. Her phone glowed with an unknown number. A warning text read, "Don't get on that plane." Neela stared, heart drumming. Neela woke to a knock at dawn. She blinked against harsh hallway light. An envelope lay on her doorstep. Her name was scrawled in gold ink. She tore it open with trembling fingers. Inside, a single black and white photograph. It showed her mother, decades younger. Behind her mother stood a tall man. He wore a tailored suit and unfamiliar smile. A second page held a folded letter. Her father's handwriting curved across the page. Neela, it began. You do not know the whole story. Her pulse quickened. She unfolded a map of New Jersey. A pinpoint marked a rundown farmhouse. Below, a phrase read, "Family secrets live here." A chill crept down her spine. Luna barked from the living room. Neela rushed to calm her dog. She carried the letter back to her kitchen. Steam rose from her cold coffee. She read on, voice barely above a whisper. Your grandfather's will demands your presence. Find truths hidden for generations. Your future depends on it. Her hands shook so badly she dropped the letter. She bent to retrieve it. Footsteps thundered down the empty street. She peered through rain-streaked glass. A black SUV idled under her porch light. She pressed her forehead to the cool pane. A tinted window slid open. A muffled voice called her name. Neela Patel? It asked. Her heart froze in her chest. She backed away, breath shallow. Her arranged marriage loomed in 2 days. Yet this summons felt heavier. What family ties bind me now? She thought. She grabbed her coat and purse. Luna pawed at her feet. Neela scooped up her dog. She slipped, out the side door. Rain obliterated the street lamps. She approached the SUV's open door. A gloved hand offered her a sealed packet. Her name glittered on its wax seal. Inside, official papers from an Atlantic County court. They demanded her attendance within 24 hours. Failure would void her inheritance. Inheritance? She'd never heard of such wealth. Questions churned in her mind. Neela glanced at the driver's silhouette. Who sent you? She demanded. The figure remained silent. He handed her a plane ticket. Chicago to Newark, leaving in 1 hour. Her breath hitched. The stranger's blue eyes met hers. No time to change your mind, he said. Her arranged fiancé would expect her home. But this demand felt urgent, undeniable. She felt torn between obligation and destiny. Lightning split the sky overhead. Her thumb traced the court summons. Family secrets. The words echoed. She slid into the SUV's back seat. Doors clicked shut behind her. Rain battered the roof. The engine growled to life. She stared out at empty street. Neela pressed the summons to her chest. What revelations await at that farmhouse? She wondered. Thunder rumbled as they sped away. Neela stepped off the bus into dusty farm roads. Tall cornstalks rustled in the midday sun. Her suitcases rattled against her thigh. The stranger who drove her vanished without a word. She scanned the broken fence line. A wind chime tinkled from a distant porch. Her heart thudded in her chest. She tightened her grip on Luna's leash. A shadow flitted behind the barn. She froze. A man in a baseball cap watched her. His Jeep idled under a lone oak tree. He lowered the tinted window. Neela Patel? He asked. His voice held a hint of relief. Call me Ryan, he said. He offered a hand. She hesitated, then took it. His grip was firm and warm. Your family sent me, he explained. She nodded, uncertain. Ryan led her toward the farmhouse. The porch sagged under peeling paint. Windows stared blank, like empty eyes. Neela's breath hitched. She followed, him inside. The air smelled like dust and old wood. A single lamp glowed in the foyer. Ryan set her luggage by the stairs. Your grandfather kept many secrets, he said. She swallowed hard. He pointed at a worn leather chair. Sit, he instructed gently. She perched on its edge. Luna circled her feet, alert. Ryan pulled 2 mugs from a shelf. He filled them with dark tea. Steam curled toward the ceiling. Neela wrapped her fingers around the warm cup. Your grandfather feared something, Ryan continued. He slid a faded photograph across the table. It showed a young Neela with a man, her hair tied back in a ribbon. She frowned at the image. "Who's that?" she asked. Ryan's jaw tightened. "A distant cousin. He vanished in 82. Neela's pulse quickened. "Why show me this?" she whispered. Ryan's eyes darkened. "Because you share his fate." Silence settled heavy around them. The wooden floorboards creaked above. Footsteps passed overhead. They stopped outside the bedroom door. A muffled whisper followed. Neela set down her mug. Her throat dry, she asked, "Is someone else here?" Ryan shook his head, but his eyes darted to the door. A key clicked in the lock. The door swung open slowly. A woman in widow's black stared at them. Her eyes were cold as steel. "Neela," she said with strange calm. Neela jumped to her feet. Luna growled low in her throat. The woman stepped inside. "I'm Aunt Priya," she announced. Priya's gaze pierced Neela's. "You shouldn't have come." Neela's heart raced. Priya reached into her coat pocket. She produced a small wooden box. Her fingers trembled as she held it. "Open it," Priya commanded. Neela exchanged a frightened glance with Ryan. He mouthed, "Be careful." Neela lifted the box's lid. Inside lay a rusted key and a folded note. The note read, "Trust no one." Her blood ran cold. Priya's lips curved into a bitter smile. "The key opens the barn," she said. Neela's mind spun. "What's in the barn?" she asked. Priya's smile deepened. "Your destiny," she replied. She turned and walked. "Away." Her footsteps echoed down the hall. Neela sank onto the couch. Ryan crouched beside her. "She's hiding something," he said. Neela unfolded the note. Her eyes widened at the handwriting. It matched her father's script. She looked at Ryan, alarmed. "Why would Dad warn me?" she whispered. Ryan shook his head. "No one here is what they seem." He stood and offered his hand. "Let's check that barn," he said. Neela hesitated, heart pounding. She nodded and followed him outside. Sunlight glinted off the barn's rusty hinges. The wood groaned as they pushed the door. Inside, shadows danced across hay, bales. In the corner, a locked chest waited. Ryan slid the key into its padlock. It snapped open with a soft click. Inside lay dusty folders and faded letters. One envelope bore her mother's maiden name. Neela's breath caught. She lifted a letter addressed to her. Her hand shook as she broke the seal. Her eyes skimmed the first line. "My dearest Neela, if you read this..." A thunderous roar split the sky. Rain began to pour in icy sheets. Lightning flashed over the open fields. Neela's heart froze at the letter's revelation. Her arranged fiancé was her half-brother. Ryan guided Neela to his garage gym at dawn. The air smelled of sweat and leather. Metal weights clinked softly in the corner. Ryan handed Neela a pair of worn gloves. "First stance," he said, voice calm. Neela planted her feet, hip-width apart. Her muscles trembled with anticipation. He demonstrated a straight punch. "Keep your knuckles aligned," he instructed. Neela mirrored his movements slowly. Luna watched from the doorway. Ryan held a padded shield for her. She threw her first punch, weak but true. The pad bounced back against her forearm. She staggered, breath rough. Ryan nodded in approval. They moved on to footwork drills, sidesteps, pivots, and swift shuffles. She stumbled at first, then found rhythm. "Good," he praised, offering water. Neela gulped cool sips gratefully. Her heart raced with newfound energy. Next, they practiced evasive rolls on mats. Her designer heels lay forgotten by the door. She felt clumsy at first, then fluid. Her confidence rose with each successful roll. They broke for lunch, sandwiches on the lawn. Sunlight warmed her sore shoulders. Ryan shared his past as a former military coach. His eyes darkened at certain memories. Neela listened, empathy softening her gaze. She asked about his own family secrets. He paused, then spoke of a lost brother. Trust deepened between them in that moment. Back in the garage, Ryan introduced self-defense. He showed her wrist locks and pressure points. Neela practiced on a training dummy. Pain shot through her forearm at first. She grit her teeth and tried. Again. Her movements grew precise, purposeful. By sunset, she executed a full sequence. Ryan smiled broadly, pride shining. Ready for more? He teased. Neela nodded, determination blazing. He handed her a folding knife, blunt edge. Learn, control, he cautioned gently. She practiced swift, clean cuts through air. Her breathing slowed, focus sharpened. Stars blinked above the open garage door. Neela stood tall, chest heaving. She felt stronger, more alive. But in the distance, a car engine rumbled. Her heart fluttered with both excitement and dread. Neela woke to shattered silence at dawn. Sunlight crept through dusty barn cracks. She stepped outside, expecting Ryan. A note lay on the porch step. Trust no one. Meet me inside. Her pulse quickened. Inside the farmhouse's living room, Priya waited. Her expression was contrite, almost gentle. Neela, Priya began softly. I never wanted you hurt. Neela's jaw clenched. Then why betray me? She demanded. Priya's lips quivered. My loyalty lay with family survival. She produced a folded photograph. It showed Ryan with Neela's father. Her breath caught. How do they know each other? Priya sighed, eyes distant. Ryan trained under your father's orders. Neela stared, dizzy. Orders? For what? Priya's voice trembled. To protect your grandfather's hidden ledger. Neela's mind raced. You mean the inheritance? Papers? Priya nodded. They reveal more than wealth. Her gaze flicked toward the stairs. He intended to expose corruption. Neela frowned. Father? She whispered. Priya's hand shook. He feared exposing his own crimes. Neela's heart pounded. He manipulated Ryan to guard secrets. Her stomach twisted. And he sent you to lure me back. Priya's tears glistened. He thought only you could unlock the truth. Neela's vision blurred. She backed toward the window. This is twisted loyalty, she said. Footsteps pounded on the porch outside. She spun. Ryan stood at the door. His face was grim. She told you? He asked quietly. Neela nodded, fury flaring. Explain now. Ryan stepped inside, shutting the door. I never meant to deceive you, he said. He pulled his cap off, revealing a scar. It's from your father's orders. Neela's breath hitched. He held out a battered notebook. Grandfather kept his notes here. She accepted it, fingers trembling. She flipped to a bookmarked page. Entries revealed bribes, bank transfers, dates. Her father's name repeated, in bold ink. She stared at Ryan. Why protect him? She asked. Ryan swallowed hard. He's my brother. Silence slammed the room. Neela stared at his face. His eyes glowed with regret. My loyalty was torn in two. Priya sank beside them, trembling. Neela fought tears. Family should protect truth, she said. Ryan's gaze fell to the notebook. I wanted to honor Grandpa's last wish. A distant engine roared. They looked outside through splintered glass. A black SUV screeched onto the gravel. Masked figures tumbled out, guns drawn. Neela's breath froze. They came for the ledger, Ryan said. Priya grabbed Neela's hand. Hide in the barn, Priya urged. Ryan nodded, pulling Neela toward the back door. Shots cracked against wood panels. They sprinted through tall corn stalks. Heartbeats pounded like war drums. The barn door creaked, open. Inside, they found a hidden trapdoor. Priya pressed the latch. They slipped into darkness below. Bullets thudded above their heads. A flashlight beam danced on stone walls. Neela's pulse thundered in her ears. Ryan guided her to a small alcove. He pressed a finger to his lips. Priya stood frozen, tears streaming. The key, Neela whispered. She pulled the barn key from her pocket. The trapdoor clicked shut, overhead. Silence enveloped them, thick as fog. Neela sank against the cold wall. Her eyes darted in the dim light. They won't leave until they find us, Ryan warned. Neela swallowed fear. Her grip tightened on the ledger. I won't let them win, she said. Ryan nodded, eyes fierce. Priya offered a trembling smile. Neela took a deep breath. We fight together, she vowed inwardly. Footsteps echoed on wooden floor above. Neela pressed her back against stone. They'll regret betraying me. Wood splinters fell as masked men smashed through the barn floor. Neela pressed her back against cold stone. Her heart thundered in her ears. Ryan steadied his breath beside her. Priya's tears glistened in the dim light. Bullets pounded the wood above. Ryan hushed, guiding Neela down a narrow tunnel. Dust motes danced in his flashlight's beam. They crawled toward a faint hum of engines. Neela clutched the ledger to her chest. Her fingers shook with adrenaline. A heavy metal door blocked their path. Ryan slid the ledger into his jacket pocket. He found the padlock and pried it open. The door swung onto a concrete stairwell. They ascended each step with careful urgency. Footsteps thundered below them. Priya stumbled, nearly falling. Neela reached out, steadying her. They emerged in a fenced service alley. Neon lights flickered on nearby signs. Rain sluiced down the alley walls. Masked figures spilled from the barn's trapdoor. They scanned the dark with assault rifles. One shouted into a radio. Neela's breath caught. He spoke her name. Her identity echoed through fear. Ryan spied a fire escape ladder. It's our way, he whispered urgently. He hoisted Neela onto his shoulders. She gasped at cold metal. He climbed, rung by rung. Priya followed, legs wobbly. They reached the rooftop in seconds. City lights stretched before them. Sirens wailed in the distance. Masked men spilled onto the alley below. They aimed upward, rifles raised. Ryan grabbed Neela's hand. Keep low, he urged. They crawled across wet gravel tiles. Neela's blouse clung to her skin. She tasted salt and iron. Priya paused at the rooftop edge. She stared down at oncoming threat. A helicopter's spotlight swept the alley. Blades chopped the rain into frenzy. Ryan pointed at a narrow fire break. We jump, he said firmly. Neela's heart lurched. Below lay dumpsters and cracked pavement. Priya's face drained of color. A gunshot rang, out somewhere below. A bullet pinged off rooftop metal. Neela's breath froze. Now, Ryan commanded. He lofted Neela over the railing. She landed on a sloping roof below. She slid, scraping her palms. Priya followed, screaming as she fell. Ryan leapt last, rolling to absorb impact. They crouched behind a rooftop unit. Neela gasped, trembling. Rain soaked her to the bone. Ryan checked her for injuries. Can you move? He asked. She nodded, voice husky. Sirens drew nearer. Flashing lights painted the sky red. A patrol car skidded into the alley. Police officers swarmed toward the barn. Masked men scattered into the night. One paused, rifle leveled at the rooftop. Neela squeezed her eyes shut. Ryan grabbed Priya's hand. They edged toward the building's edge. A steel canopy rose below. Ryan eyed it, calculating the drop. 3, 2, 1. They jumped together, landing on metal with a clang. Neela winced but stayed upright. Priya gasped in shock. Ryan gestured to a service door. They slipped inside a dark corridor. Footsteps and shouting trailed them. They raced downstairs in unison. A locked exit blocked their path. Neela's thumb found a hidden latch. The door swung open. Fresh night air. They emerged on a backstreet sidewalk. Neon storefronts hummed around them. Priya leaned against a brick wall. Her legs shook uncontrollably. Ryan gave her water from his canteen. Neela wrapped an arm around Priya's shoulders. They listened as police radios crackled. No searchers approached this street. Ryan peered at his phone's GPS. "We're blocks from safety," he said. Neela exhaled, tension melting. Street lamps cast long, reassuring shadows. City traffic blared nearby, a warm breeze mixed with rain. Priya dared a small smile. Neela met her gaze. "We made it," she whispered. Ryan's lips curved in relief, but Neela's eyes scanned the dark. She felt the ledger's weight in Ryan's pocket. "They'll try again," she thought. Ryan touched her hand gently. "We'll face them together," he promised. Neela nodded, resolve stealing. Above, a lone police chopper waned into the clouds. The trio slipped into the waiting crowd. Their escape was only partial, but for now, they were alive. Dawn's light crept over Chicago's skyline. Neela stood on a quiet riverbank. She clutched the ledger to her chest. Ryan and Priya flanked her. Their breaths formed mist in cold air. Police sirens faded at a distance. Neela opened the ledger's final page. Her grandfather's handwriting glowed with purpose. "Truth frees the soul," it read. Tears blurred her vision. She folded the page with care. Priya placed a hand on her shoulder. "Your fight saved us all," she whispered. Neela nodded, voice soft. "It saved me too." They walked along the river path. Leafless trees stood like silent witnesses. Neela glanced at the water's gentle flow. Her heart felt lighter than it had in weeks. Ryan offered her a thermos of coffee. She sipped, warmth spreading through her veins. He met her gaze with quiet pride. "Ready for what's next?" he asked. Neela smiled, uncertain but hopeful. "I think so." Priya exhaled, relief coloring her tone. "We'll face the world, together." Neela's phone buzzed in her coat pocket. She answered. It was her brother, Aman. His voice trembled with relief. "Where are you? We feared the worst." Neela steadied her voice. "I'm safe, for now." She promised to explain soon. She ended the call with a deep breath. Family ties pulled at her heart. She looked at Priya. "Will they forgive me?" Priya's smile was gentle. "Truth heals old wounds." Neela inhaled crisp morning air. She spotted a nearby coffee cart. Steam curled from metal urns. They approached it, hungry for normalcy. Ryan ordered 3 black coffees. Priya chose a warm pastry. Neela thanked the barista with a nod. They found a stone bench by the water. Ryan handed Neela her coffee. She wrapped both hands around the cup. The warmth radiated into her palms. She glanced at Priya's eyes. They held unspoken understanding. Beside her, Ryan traced her thumb. Her pulse fluttered with gentle hope. She sipped again, savoring the moment. The city awakened around them. Joggers passed on the river path. A street musician played soft jazz. Neela closed her eyes briefly. She let the music soothe her nerves. Memories of betrayal and danger faded. She breathed in the melody of life. Priya broke the silence. I'll stay in Chicago with you. Neela's heart soared, no longer alone in her fight. Ryan's gaze softened. We build new beginnings here. A seagull cried overhead. Neela whispered, yes. They finished their coffees in companionable silence. The ledger lay safe in Ryan's jacket. It held evidence of corruption. Neela planned to share it with authorities. Her father's crimes would face justice, her own name cleared of lies. She rose, energy renewed. Ryan and Priya followed suit. They strolled back toward the museum district. Autumn leaves skittered across the pavement. Neela paused before a familiar building. The art museum loomed tall and proud. She inhaled its cool marble scent. Ryan squeezed her hand gently. She nodded, determination in her eyes. Inside, she would resume her work. She would restore beauty, not destroy lives. Priya offered her a proud smile. Neela felt gratitude swell within. Thank you, she said softly. For loyalty, for love, for new start. They entered the museum's grand doors. Sunlight danced on polished floors. Neela's colleagues greeted her with curiosity. She smiled, genuine and warm. Her secret mission lay dormant for now, but she felt ready for the future. Ryan and Priya stayed near, supportive. Together, they formed a new family. Neela touched the marble wall. This city holds my destiny. She led them through echoing halls. Ancient vases and paintings inspired her. Her hands itched to begin restoration. She inhaled the museum's hushed grandeur. Ryan watched her with pride. Priya leaned in, whispering, "Welcome home." Neela's eyes glowed with relief. She had reclaimed her life and discovered love in unexpected arms. A distant church bell tolled noon. Neela pressed her palm over her heart. Her future lay wide open. She turned to Ryan, smiling. Let's write our next chapter. He nodded, hope shining in his eyes. Priya waved as they approached the workshop. Neela took a final look at the grand foyer. Everything can change in an instant. She stepped forward, confident and free. Outside, Chicago sparkled under clear skies. Neela inhaled the brisk autumn air. Her past lay behind locked doors. Her future awaited, bright and boundless. And in her chest, courage bloomed.